SaberCraft Online. I'm your host, Alfred. I'm here with Adal and Varys. Today we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover CME. CME is a CM where not only is one person initiating it, but what its idea is that you're going to not just go up against one opponent, but two opponents. For demonstrations and to learn the CM, we're going to show it with just two people. With CME, we'll have an initiator who will give the telegraph to begin the CM. They will begin the first portion of the CM as an attacker. There's a second portion of the CM where they become a defender. So this is almost like a two-part CM. You have an attack that's being conducted by the initiator, and then you have an attack that's being done by the second participant in the latter half. Let's go ahead and let's start with the telegraph. Varys here is going to go ahead and demonstrate the telegraph. You'll notice that he pretty much takes the saber and he uses his hand across it without touching it. Adal will go ahead and do the same, but he'll change it. He'll do it from a different angle. As Varys goes ahead and provides a signal that he's going to initiate CME, he goes ahead and he gives a signal to Adal. Adal now knows that as part of CME, he's going to go ahead and not only does he initiate by giving the telegraph signal, but he's actually going to go in for the attack. The attacks are pretty simple. 9, 4, 8, 5, 11, 3. The 3, keep in mind, is a lock. So at this point, we come to a standstill, right? And at this point, Varys, as he initiated the CM, he's going to go ahead and he's going to follow this lock up with a way of pushing his opponent away. He has a variety of choices. One way would be to kick his opponent. Another option is he could use some form of drum or some force or some power. Another example, he can also provide a push. Let's go ahead and let's watch the CM again now as we see the whole first portion. We're now at the second portion of the CM. So as we saw, Varys initiates the CM and he goes in for the attack. For the second portion, which is conducted after the kick, the second participant will rise and will now attack the initiator. Perfect. Adal now prepares for his attacks. He comes in with a 2. 10, 3, 7. And finishing with a 1 lock. We now come to the conclusion of the second portion of CMB. We see here that there is a one lock that has happened. Now, as Varus went ahead and he initiated the CM, he broke off the first part with using a special move, like a push or a kick or a shove, right? He gets to do that one more time. Let's watch that again. Do that again. This time with the shove. Okay. Excellent. A good thing to keep in mind is that the initiator will do a special move twice. At the beginning of the first portion of the CM when they attack, and at the end of the second portion of the CM conducted by the second participant. So let's watch it again as we break it down. Varus goes ahead and he gives the telegraph signal for CM. Adal prepares for example. He comes in on the attack. 9, 4, 8, 5, 11, 3, lock. He does a special move. Participant 2, Adal, now gets ready for the attack. Varus prepares himself to defend. 2, 10, 3, 7, 1 lock. Varus then has a second special move, finishing up the kick. At this point, the CM has concluded. Now let's watch it from different angles. Everyone can throw in their own style and flair. You're going to see now how Adal goes ahead and he uses a different way of approaching the exact same moves that you just saw. A couple of things that you're going to see now. First, when he comes in on that 9, he's going to do it by spinning around, doing a complete 360 and attacking with the 9. Watch. That'll be the first portion of the attack. For the first special, Adal is also going to apply a superhero move, where he's pretty much going to do like a forced quake, where he's pretty much using his hand, pushing it on the ground and causing like an earthquake to occur. It isn't always the case that when someone initiates a CM, they're continually attacking. And that's what the CM provides. It allows for a dynamic where there's a flow. Someone is attacking, someone is defending, right? In this case, the initiator is both attacking and defending. In this example, we're not going to see CMB against two particular opponents. I will play opponent 1, Adal will play opponent 2. Varus will be the initiator of the CM. He chooses an opponent first, and that's going to be the person that he is going to attack. He looks at Adal and he gives him the signal. He then comes in on the attack. At this point, he now prepares himself for the second opponent, in which case it's me. He will then defend against me. One important part of this is that he is aligning us, so that way he is moving in one direction. Let's watch this again. Varus is going to go ahead and stand in the middle. If he begins CME against Adal, and we're using this for theatrical purposes, as he comes in for that first attack, I can just strike, and that's the end of the choreography. So to make things look more real, right? Varus has to make sure that both of his opponents are in his sight, so he can't expose his back to me. And what he does with that is that he steps out of the way. He chooses a target to move closer to and make sure that that person is now in between me attacking him. This now gives a little bit more realism. And this applies to many martial arts in a way how you can arrange people in order to best attack. Aikido uses this technique all the time, right? In this case, I can't go forward. If I try to move around Adal, Varus can go ahead and move continually using Adal as a wall. Now, of course, we both want to come in and engage on the attack, but since he initiated it, he goes ahead and he begins. I step out of the way. Making sure not to be an obstacle for Adal, and now I step in. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and throw a flare in, spin around in order to hit with the 2, 10, 3, 7, 1 lock with a push. In the next example, Adal will go ahead and use the same techniques to defend himself and conduct CME. He chooses an opponent and moves in on them, making sure that he is in the middle. And with that, he begins. I will step in. It's important with CME to understand that you can use it against one opponent or 2 opponents. In the case of one opponent, you may be using it in a LUMINA match. But in the case of 2 opponents, you may be using it for performance. One last thing to mention about CME is that we follow the basic rule of attackers moving forward as they're attacking, defenders moving back as they're defending. Keeping that in mind, let's watch that CM again as we move in full motion. And that's CME. Thanks a lot, Adal. Thanks a lot, Varus. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you want more information, go to SaberCraft.org. Thanks.